Hey there, me again. This video, I kind of chaotic gameplay going on in the background with the new Fortnite stuff. My friends and I have been playing like crazy, so I just recorded some of that gameplay and thought I'd throw it into the background here. But in this video, I kind of want to talk about expectations versus reality, and kind of so yesterday I spoke about, a recent relationship and things like that. So this is kind of tying into that as well. But just um, there's a school of thought with particularly with kind of realism and stoicism and things like that. And I've always admired stoicism, and I've tried to apply that to the way that I think. But I think sometimes when you think on it too much, or you think too critically of things, or maybe too realistically of things, it can make you really cynical. And there's a certain point where it's too much. And I think that comes with, especially when you are thinking about like your expectations for things when you're going into a new relationship, when you're going into a new school, into a new job, whatever it might be. And so I wanted to kind of think about that and just kind of let my thoughts flow on that. So when I go into things, I tend to think of what the worst possible outcome could be from it before I go into it. And I think this is a good thing to think of in the sense of preparing yourself for that worst outcome, or kind of weighing the options of what could happen. But I think that in some situations, it's not the healthiest way to think. And I think especially when it comes to other people. I'm somebody who tries to think that there is good in every person, which I do think that there is. I don't think that there's a single person out there who is innately evil or innately bad. I think that there's good people out there who have had bad things happen to them, and because of that, they might be jaded and think the opposite, where every other person is out to ruin them, every other person hates them, whatever it might be. And it's those people who are going to be the kind of people who are going to assume that you want the worst for them. So then they might be reflecting that back onto you when you're interacting with them, because they're expecting you to do the same to them. And I think that the best way to kind of combat this, and not combat in a aggressive way, but just kind of try to help it, is by just by being nice. Just remembering you don't have any enemies in any one person. There is no one person out there who is out to ruin you, out to get you. There are going to be people who are better than you at things. There are going to be people who are more motivated or more driven to get to where you want to be, and so there's going to be competition. But they're not people who are trying to ruin your life. And if there are people who are obviously trying to do that, then of course cut those people out. But don't have an expectation that they're going to do you wrong. But also don't have an expectation that they are going to go out of their way to specifically help you. I was watching a video earlier, as in yesterday, by one of the YouTubers who inspired me to start doing this, Flow State. And his most recent video, or one of his most recent videos, was about staying humble, and that when you get a trophy or a prize for something that you worked really, really hard on, he had a example of, like, if somebody trains in jiu-jitsu and gets to a very high level, that when they achieve that, it's a big deal for them. But they might show that to their parents, to their friends, and they're going to be supportive and like that's great. But they're not really going to understand all of the work that went into that. And it's not that they aren't proud of you or that they are against you doing it. They are very much excited that you're involved in it, but they don't understand the work that went into it. So when it comes to expectations, especially with things like that, don't expect people to, fully understand you and fully understand your work ethic and what you've put into things. And this was something that I was thinking about with the recent relationship that I was in, that part of the reason why it didn't work out was because this person was supportive of what I was doing, but didn't really care. They weren't really interested in things that I would share with them. And so that was a kind of reflection that I've been having recently of, hey, it's better that I'm away from this person now, because I really wasn't getting the support that I should have from this person when they were supposed to be in a role that was supporting, and I was definitely being a supporting role for them. And of course, that doesn't just make me suddenly think that all people are this way, or that every relationship that I'm going to have from here on, that I'm jaded and I think it's going to end up the same way. I know that there are good, supportive people out there, but just something that I was reflecting on. And then also expectations when it comes to your future. And I'm in a time in my life where the future is daunting and it's intimidating, and I don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. Like, anything could happen. And I think a good way to set expectations, or at least keep them under control in a healthy way, to not expect too much but also not expect too little of yourself, is to set small goals every day that are realistic. And so I was writing in my journal last night just about some short-term and long-term goals that I want to have. Those being short-term, I want to have a better job, or maybe work a second job. I have a little bit of a job doing some video editing for a company that I had worked for last year. So that's good, but it would be nice to have maybe some shift work, something that was a bit more consistent. And so that's a short-term goal. Also, this semester has been pretty hard in school, and I've fallen behind on a few things. My GPA isn't where I want it to be. So that's another short-term goal, because it's November, only have about a full month left of the semester, and within that month I want to get that up to a place that I'm comfortable with, that I'm proud of. But more of a immediate goal is to meet somebody new every day. And this is one that's hard, but easy in a certain sense. It's hard because it's definitely getting outside of my comfort zone, and it's definitely doing something that I wouldn't normally do. And kind of with that though, I need to be careful with the expectation that I have on it, because I'm gonna, I might try to meet people who don't want to meet somebody new, and they might be rude about it. They might be, shy or standoffish, and those kind of people might be hard to interact with. But I at least want to tell myself that I tried. And so that's one thing that I want to do, and I'm not exactly sure how to do it. With the classes that I have right now, most of them are just online, so I have one class that's in person. So really, either I can meet more people in that class, which there's one guy in there that I sit next to that I've spoken to a little bit. Might try to be friends with him, but there's not really anybody else in that class that I really am super interested in. But and then just walking to and from class, going to the food court, seeing somebody cool, somebody has a cool shirt on that I relate to, going up and saying hi, something like that. Just being as friendly as I can, helping somebody, opening the door for somebody, things like that. I ran a few errands yesterday, went to some bookstores, held the door open for some people. It's just small things like that that I think can make a difference for me and for them. And also just along the lines of that, like where I live, driving is very scary. I live in like one of the highest rates of car accidents in the country, and just yesterday when I was coming home from running those errands, and I was pulling out of one of the parking lots. I mean, it was packed. It was crazy traffic. I was definitely in the middle of rush hour, and this other driver stopped and let me merge in, which was they didn't have to do that. I could have waited until the whole line had gone past, and it wasn't like I was in a super big hurry, but it's just small things like that that really stand out, that you think about and make you just kind of reignites that hope for people and hope for humanity. So I think things like that are just important. But to kind of tie it all back into expectations, don't expect that people are going to do that, because most people don't do that. But also don't have this expectation that everybody's out to get me, and because they're not, like, they can't even go out of their way to do these small things, they're not good people. I think every person is innately good, and you just have to figure out how to communicate with them properly. So those are kind of the thoughts that I've been having in regards to that. And expectations are something that are hard to control sometimes, and you kind of convince yourself that it's going to go one way, and it almost never does. And so expect things to not go quite as you want them to, but don't expect them to go completely wrong, because you always have control over how you react to things. And I don't know if I'll title this video Expectations, or if I'll title it When a Situation Changes, We Are Forced to Change Ourselves, which I'm forgetting who said that, where the quote's from, but that's kind of the idea that I'm trying to get across in this video, that go in with minimal expectations, but not zero. And if it's not meeting your higher expectations, then you can't change that situation, so you need to change yourself. And with recent events in my life, and with things coming up like finals, and kind of social pressures and pressures that I put on myself to kind of prove myself socially, or having that sort of pressure, is definitely something that I'm feeling. So these are mindsets that I want to go into the next month with. But hey, I've got exciting things coming up. Thanksgiving's coming up. Christmas. I applied for an apprenticeship for a thing I really want to get into next semester. Don't know how high that my prospects are for that, but and I have some other projects that I want to keep working on, as well as this YouTube channel. So so that's about it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I know the gameplay doesn't really match the vibe. I'm just gonna kind of experiment with what games that I play in the background. But since Fortnite's kind of relevant right now, I just figured I'd throw that in, and that's really all I've been playing for the past few days. But I'll probably go back to Minecraft on the next one, because I want to keep playing on that world. Just recently started it, so so that's about it. Let me know what you think, and if you agree or not. And so see you in the next one.